In an effort to build data capacity within our region, the Tulare County Office of Education recently launched an exciting new partnership with core districts, and all districts within the county are invited to participate. Membership in CORE's Data Collaborative will provide our districts with access to a common data platform where users can explore dashboards, reports, and strategic analytics showcasing student achievement data. Currently, the Data Collaborative represents 1/3 of California's schools and students. Partnering with the Core Data Collaborative will allow our districts to engage in powerful collective learning and collaboration with colleagues throughout this extensive statewide network. So why should a district join the collaborative? What are the unique benefits of Core's data system? And how have other collaborative members utilized the information available on the Core dashboard? Participation in the collaborative is fully funded by the county office for the next 4 years as a Level 1 support. Districts that take advantage of this new resource will have access to versatile, on-demand data displays, which can be especially beneficial for districts that lack strong data resources. Additionally, CORE provides members with opportunities to engage in collaboration and networked capacity building with other data collaborative members. This includes twice-yearly collaborative convenings, as well as monthly virtual gatherings. Each year, CORE offers a fall preview of California School Dashboard results, months in advance of its official release in December. Additionally, CORE focuses on student growth, which takes a holistic view of students, unlike the state's focus on year-to-year change. CORE also offers high school readiness scores at the middle school level, so that middle schools can understand how well they're preparing students for high school, and so that high schools can investigate how prepared the students are that they're receiving from their feeder schools. Another exciting feature that is currently under development is CORE's back-to-school analytics system. In response to the school closures caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, CORE began developing this system as a way to address student learning loss and assist with recovery efforts. CORE also provides opportunities for collaborative members to provide input whenever new features are under development. As the platform continues to grow and evolve, feedback from the collaborative ensures that the system remains responsive and user-friendly. Information from the CORE dashboard is commonly used for system investigation, improvement projects, annual planning and target setting, and networking. In terms of practical applications, many districts utilize CORE dashboard data in their LCAP planning. Some use it to surface and spark conversations around issues of equity, and some print out and display dashboard data in order to facilitate board presentations and stakeholder engagement. Now that you know more about CORE and what it has to offer, if you'd like to explore the dashboard for yourself, you can visit insights.coredistricts.org and enter username TCOE at coredistricts.org. Then enter password core1491. After logging into the CORE dashboard, the first page you'll see is the CORE Index page. This page shows year-to-year change for all of the standard indicators, like ELA, math, absenteeism, and so on. You'll want to begin by setting your filters. In the table below, you'll find a breakdown of the student population for the school or district that you've selected. All counts in this table are based on continuous enrollment. If we scroll down, we see index results broken down into the academic domain and the social emotional domain. We're given prior year results, the current year performance, and a calculation of the year-to-year change. Next, we see our index level and the year-to-year change in index level. The core index was developed as a way for schools within the data collaborative to benchmark themselves against each other. CORE calculates their index levels by first looking at each school's performance on each metric, such as ELA performance or graduation rate. They then rank order all schools within the collaborative from strongest performance to weakest performance and assign each school a percentile rank, which is what you then see here. In this case, the ELA performance for this school district was about average when compared to the rest of the core data collaborative, which was a decrease of 1 index level from the prior year. As we scroll down further, we're given suggestions for the amount of improvement needed in order to advance 1, 2, or 3 index levels. In this case, if ELA performance next year were to improve by just 1%, this school district would advance by 1 index level, moving from a 7 to an 8, which takes them from average to above average performance. This area of the dashboard can be helpful when setting targets for LCAP or CIPSA because it provides real numbers to utilize in those reports along with evidence to support your targets. As we continue down the page, the selected year's results are broken down further by student subgroups and ethnicity to examine current performance, and in the case of academic metrics, we're given growth percentiles. CORE's growth percentiles represent how much a school has been able to move the needle on student performance when compared to similar schools serving similar students. So in this case, when we look at students with disabilities, though only 20% of these students are meeting or exceeding standards in ELA, their growth percentile is in the average range when compared to similar schools with similar students. Seeing all student groups and all metrics laid out like this, side by side, can be very helpful in quickly identifying areas of strength and areas of need. CORE's LCAP feature contains 2 5x5 views, as well as the LCAP overview. The LCAP overview breaks down metric results by LCAP priority area. Using the green filter bar, we can select a student group to explore. We're shown prior year results, current year results, a calculation of the year-to-year change, and the 5x5 color status for that metric. The 5x5 views are just like those you would find on the California School Dashboard. The placement of each school within a district or each student group within a school is displayed on the 5x5 grid. We can use the green filter bar to select which metric we would like to view. If a district has opted to utilize CORE's social emotional learning surveys, the results of those surveys would also be found here. CORE's LCAP views would likely be considered a favorite feature for many districts within the data collaborative. Because CORE collects the same CalPADS files that are used to create the California School Dashboard each year, CORE is able to analyze that information and make predictions about where schools and student groups will be placed on the 5x5. These predictions are then released months in advance of the California School Dashboard, allowing CORE Data Collaborative members to preview their dashboard performance in the fall rather than waiting until December for CDE's official dashboard release. This preview allows schools and districts within the collaborative to anticipate whether they will be designated for DA or CSI support. Due to school closures caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting lack of annual reporting data, it remains uncertain what the California School Dashboard will look like this year. However, as data reporting gets back on track in the years to come, this 5x5 preview feature is sure to remain a valuable asset for Core Data Collaborative members.
Academic measures, which has three distinct components: the school report, the scatter plot, and ordered bar charts. Each of these makes use of the growth metric, which calculates the amount of growth for a cohort of students in an academic area. Comparisons to similar student groups are used to determine a growth percentile. Growth requires 2 years' worth of data, previous performance and current performance, to calculate. Make sure to make the desired selection for district and site level comparisons along with the desired year along the blue ribbon. The green box allows for selecting a specific student group as well as ELA or mathematics. The display for school report shows the student group percentile by grade level. The midline represents average growth for the subject and student group selected. The percentiles are given a color based on lower than average growth, about average growth, or above average growth. In this example, we see that middle school had an above average growth, 7th grade being a particular bright spot across the district. One could zoom in on a specific site to see their values, or change the selected student group. The ability to change student group, site, year, or subject quickly simplifies the process of investigating data. If we change our selection to math, we see that the pattern in district growth percentiles differ from those in ELA. The breakdown at the bottom lays out the detail for each grade level, and this can help determine bright spots or help identify the need to investigate further. If we change to the scatter plot view, we get some additional detail about each of the schools within the selection, which can be adjusted using the ribbon along the top. Each point represents a school in the district. The x-axis plots the growth percentile for each site in the selection. Sites who had more success in improving assessment outcome for a cohort of students appear further to the right. The y-axis plots the average distance to meeting standard for the selected subject and student group across all tested students in a school. Schools that line up horizontally have similar performance according to distance from meeting standard, but different degrees of cohort growth. Schools that line up vertically have similar cohort growth, but different performance on that assessment selected. The metric breakdown shows the detail for each of the data points, that is, schools, in the scatter plot. We finally move to the ordered bar charts, which take the selected group of schools and shows multiple years of the growth metric. Note that you can sort according to any column. This display allows a user to investigate consistency of growth over multiple years. An individual site can be expanded to allow a view of the assessed grade level. We move on to the on-demand tools on the dashboard. There are 3 areas: metric trends, gap trends, and scatter plots. Metric trends compare performance on the selected metric across time, displaying the selected site, district, network, as well as an overall group that represents much of the data for the districts in the dashboard. Select a site using the blue ribbon, and use the green box to select a measure and a student group. Metric trends encompass a wide range of measures beyond academic outcomes and can even display survey outcomes for participating districts. The table underneath the plot shows the values used in the graph for the selected site, and the headers can be used to reorganize the data on the fly. Below that are the index levels for the comparison groups as well as the actual measures. The population size for each comparison can also be found on the final table. Gap trends is an easy way to identify trends and performance gaps between student groups. Using the green box, select a metric and a student group to compare performance trends for the selected group and its complement, For example, selecting the group of current EL students graphs their performance, as well as the performance of students who are not EL. The gap size between the groups are graphed on the bars directly underneath the line plots. The tables below show the details for both graphs. Selecting scatter plots takes us to a display that delivers a lot of flexibility to compare metrics for sites within the selection in the blue ribbon. Currently, we have selected the All Students group. Scatter plots allow us to select a value on the x-axis as well as the y-axis. This allows for an investigation of correlation between metrics and seeing where sites lie according to the values assigned to the axes. For example, if I select Growth, ELA, and Growth, Math, I can find a field showing districts who are high in Math, low in ELA, high in ELA, low in Math, low in both, and finally those who have high growth in both subject areas. If I want to restrict the field to only the sites that will fit a certain criteria, we can use the toggle filters to identify sites that meet those criteria. If I wanted to find a small school with similar demographics to my own site, these filters allow us to narrow our scope. The table underneath displays the data used on the scatter plot, along with the index levels. It's worth pointing out that the data for this and various other displays can be downloaded as well. There are other features accessible along the sidebar of the core dashboard. For example, predictive analytics uses metrics gathered from the dashboard and, based on trends, uses them to build predictions for being on track to graduate high school, meet A through G, and persist through into a second year at a four-year university for selected student groups. This feature is in beta and must be turned on for users. If you'd like to log into the dashboard to explore, you can do so using these credentials. If you'd like to get a hold of the data team, you can do so here. Thanks for joining us today on Finding Opportunities in Data from the Tulare County Office of Education. Have a good one.